How's it going, guys? My name is Christopher. Today I'm going to be sharing with you some things that I wish I knew when I first started out selling cars. Hopefully this will help you so you can learn and grow a lot quicker. Welcome back to my channel, guys. This video is kind of going to be a two-part video where I'm going to put this video out, and then shortly later on I'm going to put out my common car sales mistakes that I made when I was starting out as a car salesman. So a lot of you guys responded to my video that I put what to expect when working at a car salesman. You guys sent me DM questions, you guys commented on the video. I greatly appreciate all the response, guys. I want to make a follow-up video to help you guys learn and grow, and maybe you won't make some of the mistakes that I made as I've grown up, as I have kind of done this trial by fire, and I'm like your guinea pig here, guys. So if you're just starting out in car sales, try to follow some of these practices and it will just make your life a lot easier. The first thing that I wish I knew was my follow-up. So following up with customers is key in car sales, guys. I wish I knew the importance of it when I first started out, because I didn't make as many phone calls as I should have when I was first starting out. I didn't follow up with the customers as often as I should have. And really, when I've gotten into my later years of car sales, I've noticed that it is sort of a detriment not to follow up. So you should follow up with customers that have purchased on an annual basis. All your previous customers, you should be following up, maybe sending them happy birthdays. However you do it in your planner, if you have a CRM system, even better. But you should be following up with all your customers. Any customer that's come in and hasn't purchased, you should be following up with them the next day, a couple days after. I would follow up with that customer many times until they say no or tell you that they're not interested. Following up with the customers is something that I wish I learned how to do and I wish I mastered from the beginning. I think I have a good plan with it now, but it takes practice, guys, and the sooner you start following up with your customers, the better your life will be. The next one is investing some of your paycheck. So this kind of goes into financial responsibility. When I first started out selling cars, I was young and I was earning a significant wage, and I wish that I started investing a portion of it earlier. So the big saying is pay yourself first. So you should be taking a portion of your paycheck every week and investing it into an RRSP, a tax-free, stocks, however you want to save your money. That's for a different video. But you should be taking maybe 30% of your paycheck and investing it into a savings plan to save for your retirement. Number 2 and 3 kind of go hand in hand. The next one you want to do is create an emergency fund for yourself. So this is another basics of investing 101, but I think it's crucial in car sales, because if you're strictly commission, you're going to have good months and you're going to have crappy months. And in those crappy months, you may wish you set aside some money from the good months to help pay your wages and pay your expenses for those months. So I try to keep an emergency fund of about 3 months in a separate savings account that I never touch, just in case I want to go on a vacation for a month, or I have a bad month and I don't have a lot of sales. I can tap into that emergency fund and I'm not struggling to pay my bills. So if you're first starting out in car sales, I definitely recommend setting maybe the amount of about 3 paychecks aside to cover your expenses if you do, in the off chance, have a bad month. But let's be serious, we're all going to be killers and we're not going to have bad months, but you just might. So set some money aside in an emergency fund. Number 4 is focusing on branding yourself and not the dealership. So a big mistake that I made when I was starting out, and something I wish I learned earlier, was creating my own brand for myself. So this brand that I have, Cars Unlocked, is my YouTube channel, and I wish I started it when I first started out selling cars. And what I mean by that is, when I first started out selling cars, I would do the similar video walk around, similar videos like this one, and I would just represent the dealership. And I would make those videos and I would give them to my manager or the social media manager at the dealership, and they would post those videos from YouTube. And I'm going to go back and try to find some old ones here of my younger days, but these videos were basically gaining views for the dealership's YouTube channel. And I wish that I just started posting them to my own channel right away. Maybe about 3 years into selling cars, after making a ton of videos, I created this channel, Cars Unlocked, by about 3 or 4 years in. And I wish I just started it from the beginning, because who knows the amount of videos that I would have on my channel. It'll definitely be more than what I have now. And branding yourself as opposed to the dealership is crucial. Understand that you're a brand in your own when you're selling cars. You're basically like a self-employed. So yes, customers need to say yes to the dealership, but they also need to say yes to you and your brand. So if you create a brand for yourself, whether it be YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, whatever one you're expert at or your expertise at, you're comfortable with, try to establish a brand on those connections. Don't create the brand for the dealership, because then you're just helping the dealership grow and you're not helping yourself grow. So once I started doing that, I was much better off. Now I've been able to use my YouTube channel as a secondary income source to help pay my bills and earn a secondary income. And I wish I did that on day one. I just made videos and I posted them for myself. For a long time, I was making videos for free for the dealership that I worked for, and it was basically a waste. Yes, I earned the respect of that dealership, but I wish I just did it for my own sake and for my own benefit. You kind of have to be a little selfish here in that regards. Number 5 is understanding the business that you're in. It took me a little while to learn that appointments sell cars. So I like to word it as, you're not in the car sales business, you're in the appointment business. Your goal every day when you come to work, it should be trying to book appointments for the future. Trying to call customers, email customers, text message customers, get them into the dealership with appointments. Appointments sell cars. If you're the type of salesman that just hangs around in the showroom all day waiting for the people to come in the showroom doors, you're not going to do as well as you can. But if you have a handful of appointments each day, you're going to wake up every morning with confidence. You're going to know that you might sell a car today because you have a couple appointments booked. A common thing that I say to myself is when I wake up in the morning, I think, who am I going to sell a car to today? It's much easier to answer that question when you have 2 or 3 appointments scheduled. But if you have 0 appointments scheduled, it's very tough to answer that question, and your chances of selling a car aren't very high. So make sure you understand that your goal should be to book appointments, to come into the dealership and see you, and the car sales will follow. Another thing that I wish I knew earlier, this kind of goes with the follow-up of number 1, but this is the last thing that I wish I knew, and that's staying connected with customers through social media. So just having a customer's phone number is great. You can call them and follow up. However, I like to maybe add my customers on Facebook. I like to add them on Instagram, whatever social media they're using. I'll ask for their permission first, and then that just allows us to stay connected over the years. And the reason for this is they'll see you posting about your car sales. They'll stay updated on your life. They'll know you're still working here at the dealership you're at when they want to come by their next one. And a lot of people have just kind of resorted into Facebook and Instagram as their first way of contacting people. So I have a lot of customers that they'll have my phone number, but they'll also have me on Facebook, and they choose to send me a message on Facebook first. And I'm okay with that. I do appreciate that. And I wish when I first started out that I added more customers to my Facebook and to my Instagram starting out, because it's a much easier way to stay connected in the long run than simply having their name and their phone number in your database. So that would be something I wish I knew earlier, is connecting with customers on a deeper level through social media than just having their phone number. So thanks so much for watching, guys. That's your video on the things and mistakes that I wish I knew earlier when I started selling cars. So if you're just starting out, try to follow some of these practices. Let me know how you're making out, guys. If you have any questions, I'm here to support you guys. Send me a DM on Instagram or comment on the video as well. Stay tuned for my follow-up to this video, which is common mistakes that I made when I first started out selling cars. That's going to be more mistakes that you make during the car sales process. And I hope we can learn and grow together, guys. So I love watching all you guys sell cars. Send me photos of your cars on Instagram of you selling cars. Share me in your story. I'd love to see photos and hear about you guys selling cars. I've had people say, oh, I just sold my first car this week. Thank you so much for your tips. So I appreciate that so much, guys. We'll see you in the next video.